Hi, and welcome to the Million Voter Rising Initiative. This slideshow will go through a step-by-step process on how to register and later on how to check your name on the voter list. This is a map of Mahadevpura, and you can check the various ward numbers over here. You don't really need these numbers in order to fill out the forms, but it's good to know where exactly you're located so that when you get your voter ID, you'll know where your voting booth is located. Now, before you get started, you need to get your documents together, and you also need to scan them onto your computer. Here is a list of the documents you're going to need. You'll need your address proof, your age proof, and your photograph. The first two have to be in PDF and the last one in a JPEG format. For the address proof, there are various documents. You need only any one of these. Please note that the address that you give in your registration has to match the address on your electricity or telephone bill or whichever document that you're submitting here. The rent agreement specifically has to be for that particular address. So if there's a mismatch in the address, your application would get rejected. For the age proof, you can use any one of the following documents as listed: driver's license, passport, birth certificate, anything that really shows your date of birth. And then your photograph, and in addition to the soft copy that you upload, you will also need 2 passport size photographs for the actual physical form that you will submit at the BBMP office. So to start the registration process, go to this website, which is voterreg.kr.nic.in. You will first have to register. If you see at the bottom there, the red circle is on the register. Once you click register, it will ask you for your first and last name, your email ID, mobile, and your sex, and you click to get a secret question, and then once you do that, you will then get an email giving you a password, at which point you will then go back to the login page. This is somewhat like the email you will get. It will give a username and a password. Using that username and password, go back to this page and fill that out. Now you're going to get to this page. Please click on Form 6, Inclusion of your name in electoral roll. If you previously had a card, voting card, you still need to take the Form 6 because it has a place on it where you can mention your previously issued voter ID card which was in a different location or state. At this point, you will select your district, which would be Bangalore, and then your assembly constituency, which would be Mahadevpura. At the right side, you can check your ward, but it's not essential. This shows the ward already filled out. Coming to Form 6, it's very important first off that you do not use capital letters for the entire name, surname, etc. Just use capital only for the first alphabet, and the rest of them have to be lowercase. And the reason for this is that if you put in all capital letters, your voter ID card will not print properly. Secondly, all the fields on this page have to be filled in. Do not leave any blanks, otherwise your form will be rejected. Name, surname, sex, and in case of age, select either age or date of birth, and please do not leave it blank. You need to fill in either one or the other. The relationship type, you need to fill in a relative and put in their name and surname. And this is also printed on your voter ID card. So please fill in the name, surname correctly and choose the relationship correctly. So we've had cases where somebody's put in father and then put in the mother's name and so on. Continuing with Form 6, here you need to enter your full address. Please remember that you need to have been at this address for at least 6 months, and your address proof must match the address you give here completely. And again, the address proof must be dated at least 6 months old. So if you're giving a utility bill like an electricity bill or your gas connection, it needs to be 6 months old. If it's a rent agreement, a similar case. Enter the address correctly over here, and you can follow it up with details of other family members who are already in the electoral roll. We finally come to the declaration, and this is a very important section. If you leave any part of this blank, there will be a problem in your registration. The first 3 points are pretty easy. You need to just check them off and remember to put in the date since you've been a resident at the address you're given, and that should be at least 6 months old, otherwise you will not be eligible for registration at the current time. Now, as far as number 4 is concerned, you need to check off one or the other. If you have never registered before in India, you need to check off the first option, which is my name has not already been included in the electoral roll. However, if you do hold a card and you have registered prior, you must check off the second option in number 4 and fill out the details, as well as you must attach your old Epic card with this application, or at a minimum a photocopy self-certified of the front and back of your old Epic card. Click Save and Continue to go to the next page. At this point, you will come to just place of submission, which would be Bangalore. Enter your mobile number. Now you need to browse and upload your photo, documentary proof of age, and address, which you were told in the beginning of the application process to keep ready. These files, the file names will start showing, and I've given an example here of, remember the photo has to be in JPEG, and look at the size limitation, less than 50 KB for the JPEG, less than 1 MB for the PDFs. If your file size is larger, you need to reduce it and then upload it. Finally, hit the final save and submission of application button. Now this section is very important because you have to fill in your correct address and your name. This is what will be used to actually print on your voter registration card, as well as the document which will be used to mail back to you your voter ID card. Congratulations, you're done. After you submit, you will get your acknowledgement number. This will be printed on your application form. Please print out 2 copies of the form. One will be for submission to the election officer, and the other is your copy, which you must get stamped and acknowledged when you submit the hard copy, so that you have proof of submission. Please note that just uploading the documents and submitting your form online does not submit your application for processing. You have to go to the BBMP office or at a voter camp, submit your application in hard copy with the supporting evidence, which must include a copy of your old Epic card if you are transferring from a different constituency. And you must have filled up the declaration there stating that you have been registered prior and you would like to get your name deleted from the previous entry on the voter rolls. Once you submit your application, please keep that safely so that you can reference it to check whether you've been registered in a few days or a couple of weeks. Coming to a question, once you're done, is will your vote count? This is an important question, and a lot of people feel their vote doesn't count. Well, look here and see and decide for yourself. Look at the last election winning margin of votes in all the various wards. And you will see, folks, how pathetic these margins are. 139, that's it. If 140 people had voted another way, another candidate would have won. You can see at the very top end, it's less than 8,000 votes. Just 7,000 votes is the maximum margin of vote that anybody's won in any of these 16 wards. The green ones here are Congress and the blue ones here are BJP. So that just tells you the breakout of the parties, but that is not really relevant here. What we're looking for is thank you. Um, if you are at the second point where you have submitted your form or you are already have a voter ID, please check that you're on the list. In order to check that you're on the list, go to the login again, and on the top you'll see application status. Enter your acknowledgement ID and it will tell you the status of your application. Another way to check that you're on the list is to go to the BPAC site mentioned on top, click on Proud to be a voter, select your ward, just your assembly constituency is fine too. Enter some information, first name, last name, maybe house number, sex, male, female, and click on the search button. If you're not getting anything relevant, start reducing it. So then maybe remove the house number or remove the last name because sometimes they're misspellings. Once you do that, you should see some names come up and you can go and see if you're